On the news, Nigeria Governors Forum says states working on paying minimum wage they can afford. The Nigerian military to court-martial 2 military personnel over drone attack. And court stops NERC from implementing tariff hike on Band A customers. Glad to have you join us on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkwolye. The Nigeria Governors Forum says that it is yet to finalize its assessment of what the states can feasibly afford to pay as discussion continue regarding a new minimum wage for workers in Nigeria. In a statement issued by Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, chairman of the forum, the 37-member tripartite committee tasked with deliberating on the national minimum wage is still in the process of evaluating recommendations. The governors are currently assessing their individual fiscal capacities to determine the potential impact of proposed wage adjustment. While acknowledging recent wage initiatives and adjustments, the governors said they are committed to the ongoing negotiation process and assured that improved wages for customers will be a virtual outcome. On the other end, Nigeria Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero dismissed claims that certain states would struggle to meet the proposed wage. He emphasized the importance of states prioritizing their expenditures and suggested that investing in mechanized agriculture and achieving self-sufficiency in food production could alleviate economic pressures and enable states to meet higher wage demands. The Nigerian military says it is going to court-martial 2 of its personnel over the drone strike which killed over 80 persons at Tundubiri community in Kaduna State last December. Defense spokesperson Major General Edward Buba disclosed this at a media briefing in Abuja, adding that the incident was a regrettable error. He also provided updates on ongoing military operations across the country. This next report has more details.
The government had ordered a thorough investigation into the military drone strike which killed over 80 villagers at Tudunbiri who were mistaken as terrorists. The military now says that investigation is now over formally owing up to the incident.
The affected personnel are to face a court-martial for acts of omission or commission with respect to the Tudunbiri incident. I'm, however, constrained to speak much about the incident as it will be adjudged as prejudicial, being a case before a court-martial. However, it must be made clear that the incident was a mistake and the victims of the strike were mistaken for terrorists.
The military spokesperson also delivered a comprehensive update on the nation's ongoing military operations against terrorism. According to him, troops have been actively engaged in offensive operations throughout April, including covert missions aimed at disrupting terrorist activities.
Troops of Operation Hadamkey conducted operations into Sambisa. They conducted operations into the Timbuktu Triangle, and they also conducted operations towards the Tumbus, which is around the Lake Chad region. All the locations, as mentioned, are strongholds in which terrorists hibernate. Accordingly, troops neutralized 248 terrorists, arrested 422 suspects, and rescued 163 kidnapped hostages.
Furthermore, assurances have been provided to residents of the Southeast region, affirming that security measures have been heightened to ensure the safety of citizens in that area.
The armed forces is building on this momentum against the terrorists. We intend to maintain it in destroying the terrorists and their cohorts all across the various theaters of operation in the country. We are conscious that the stakes are high, and we are not losing sight of the importance of momentum when it comes to fighting such vicious adversaries.
As the military continues its operations to root out terrorist elements, it says its commitment to ensuring the safety and security of Nigerian citizens remains paramount. Comfort Samuel, TV 360 News, Lagos.
And in Lagos State, in a bid to tackle unemployment and boost economic growth, the state government has unveiled its groundbreaking Empower Lagos initiative. This program, set to kick off as a public-private partnership, aims to empower an initial 10,000 residents with plans to extend to 500,000 individuals over the next 3 years. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akinyemi Ajigbotafe, reviewed these plans during a recent press briefing at Lausa. He highlighted the initiative as key achievement of Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration, underscoring his commitment to driving progress and prosperity across the state.
In 2023, we disbursed 859 million to 1,271 MSMEs in the state. The support helped these businesses grow, creating 51,822 direct and indirect jobs in Lagos State. Program highlights: we have the Go Recycling Hub, we have the Volunteer Network, which is in a bid to expand capacity building initiative of Lagos State Employment Transfer to fund and establish a network of industry experts and volunteers cutting across diverse sectors who willfully offer their wealth of experience and expertise to support our programs through training facilitations, mentorship, coaching, field engagement, research, and program evaluation. Our efforts will not be spared as we continue to pursue and sustain steadfastly our commitment towards wealth creation and employment, as well as ensuring the delivery of dividends of democracy with a corps of loyal, dedicated, and supportive members of staff giving their unalloyed support.
And a federal high court in Kano has granted an interim order restraining the National Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) from implementing a hike in electricity tariff for Band A customers in the state. The court directed Kano Electricity Distribution PLC to discontinue the implementation of tariff increase from 76 Naira 54 kobo per kilowatt to 225 Naira per kilowatt. Justice Abdullahi Mohammed, who granted the order, also directed NERC and KEDCO to stop taking any step pending an hearing and determination of motion or notice filed by the applicant. NERC and KEDCO were also restrained from intimidating or threatening to disconnect the applicant from electricity supply for non-acceptance of the April 2024 supplementary order pending hearing in substantive suit. The federal government has officially unveiled the 2021 National Food Consumption and Micronutrient Survey in Abuja, aimed at assessing the dietary habit and micronutrient status of key population groups within Nigeria. Our report says that malnutrition directly or indirectly contributes to 45% of all deaths among children under 5, and the government is moving to check the situation. Now, our correspondent Emeka Mako files in this report from Abuja.
Nigeria ranks among the top 10 countries globally for childhood malnutrition, with the second highest prevalence of stunted children and a child wasting rate surpassing the global average. Additionally, UNICEF reports that 7% of women of childbearing age in Nigeria suffer from acute malnutrition. Given these alarming statistics, the successful implementation of strategies to combat malnutrition is critical for Nigeria to achieve its sustainable development goals. The launch event of the 2021 National Food Consumption and Macronutrient Survey in Abuja attracted a diverse audience and stakeholders. Some experts say the report has the potential to elevate Nigeria's status among nations with improved nutrition indices.
Beyond the numerical data lies the profound impact on lives, the potentials for positive transformation, and the unity of purpose it brings to our nation. In all, I have a firm belief that Nigeria will be placed amongst exemplary nations with improved nutrition indices.
Key government officials, including the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, praised the survey for providing valuable insight for policy formation and implementation.
I will urge those who have prepared this report, who have worked to see it through, to not relent. It's not just to have the report, but to take it forward. And I'll urge that in each state of the Federation, let's also have a mini lunch so that they look at the data relevant to their own context.
I therefore advise that we redouble our efforts to promote nutrition-sensitive agriculture, improve the food systems, and strengthen health services to ensure that all Nigerians have access to safe, nutritious, and diverse foods.
But despite the celebrations surrounding the survey's launch, some say challenges still remain.
For us in the nutrition sector, it's a big achievement that we now have up-to-date data that we can use as a reference for decision making. And not just national, data that goes to the subnational.
We acknowledge, sadly, that Nigeria has the largest number of malnourished children on the continent and the second largest in the world. The recently completed Cadre Harmonisé report by our colleagues from FAO and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture also shows that 32 million people in this lean season are going to be food insecure. This is a huge number, and we must come together to do something about it now. So on behalf of the United Nations and UNICEF, I would like to say that we are committed to continue to support the federal government of Nigeria to translate, as my colleague Uche said, we need to translate the data to action, and we need to act now.
With the unveiling of the 2021 National Food Consumption and Micronutrient Survey, there is still optimism for positive change in Nigeria's nutritional landscape.
A coalition of civil society organizations, CSO, has issued a stern warning cautioning against what they describe as malicious attacks on anti-corruption institutions in Nigeria. Speaking on behalf of the CSOs, Anwar Rafsanjani, Executive Director of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, said there are detrimental consequences of allowing such attacks to persist. During a press briefing, Rafsanjani identified several factors hindering the effectiveness of anti-corruption efforts. He said there is an urgent need for legal reforms to strengthen anti-corruption measures and ensure accountability and transparency in governance.
You will wait, people will suffer to cast their vote, and then you get to the court, they will tell you, they will rig the election, they will tell you, let's meet in the court. By the time you go to court, it is a different story all over. This culture has to change. We cannot use public taxpayers' money to procure political appointment and election and continue to steal that same public, funds. We have to, change doing this. And anti-corruption agencies are finding it difficult because these people are now the one to determine how you even survive, how you function as an agency, because they are the one to make the law, they are the one to supervise, they are the one to provide resources for your work. So you can see that the anti-corruption is actually handicapped.
Adequate resource allocation to the anti-corruption agencies has become imperative to uphold their independence and enhance efficiency in the anti-corruption process. It is essential to prioritize adequate funding and support for anti-corruption agencies to prevent corruption and promote accountability. Through this, the present administration will demonstrate its commitment to fighting corruption.
More and more Nigerians are buying guns, are using those guns against their neighbors, against road users, against farmers, against everybody in the street. Is the path to anarchy and destruction. We must stop this level of corruption from continuing to grow.
The Akida Forum of the All Progressive Congress APC has urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC to reopen a corruption case against Bello Matawalle, the Minister of State for Defense. In a protest held at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja, the group expressed satisfaction with the Commission's impartiality in its fight against corruption. Musa Mahmood, the chairman of the group, formally requested the EFCC to reinvestigate allegations of corruption against Matawale. This call comes amid concerns about corruption in Nigeria and the APC administration's recent action against government officials suspected of embezzlement, including former Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello.
To the state governor, through the sum of his commissioners, notably those in charge of finance and local government affairs, 2.1 billion arms deal. Furthermore, we urge the EFCC to investigate the 2.1 billion arms deal, which included Matawale among the dishonorable Nigerians and companions that benefit from the former NSAS scandal. Call for action. The APC Akida Forum is appealing to Economics and Financial Crime Commission EFCC to continue investigating Bello Muhammad Matawale alleged mismanagement of public funds during his tenure as governor of Zamfara State and his involvement in the famous arms deal scandal. As party loyalists, we want the Economics and Financial Crime Commission EFCC to investigate the matter and bring justice to those responsible for mismanagement of public funds. This will serve as deterrent to others considering engaging in corrupt practice in public office, especially considering what happened to the humanitarian minister. Conclusion: the APC Akida Forum, as political pleasure group, commend the federal government for making hard decisions against corruption.
It's time for a break now, but coming up, UEFA to allow squads of up to 26 players at Euro 2024. Details of this after this break. Welcome back now. A quick recap of our top stories. The Nigeria Governors Forum has indicated that discussions on a new minimum wage for workers are ongoing, with assessments still underway to determine what each state can afford to pay. Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, chairman of the forum, said that the 37-member committee tasked with deliberating on the national minimum wage is still evaluating recommendations. Meanwhile, Nigeria Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero has dismissed concerns over states' ability to meet proposed wage increase. We also told you that the Nigerian military says it is going to court-martial 2 of its personnel over the drone strike which killed over 80 persons at Tundubiri community in Kaduna State last December. Defense spokesman Major General Edward Buba disclosed this at a media briefing in Abuja, adding that the incident was a regrettable error. He also provided updates on the ongoing military operations across the country. And in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limes World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between...
Dissect it so that you can understand it. use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DG360, dissecting the issues.
It's now time for business news. Let's join Opeyemi Owosheni for the latest. Offered to you, Opeyemi.
Thank you, Tamilore. Welcome to Business News. The Lagos State government has revealed that its total revenue generation for the year 2024 has reached an impressive 92% of the budget target, with expectations to surpass it. Speaking at the ongoing series of ministerial press briefing in Alausa, Commissioner for Economic and Budget Planning, Okpe George, highlighted the state's remarkable progress in fiscal management. George said that various social initiatives implemented by the state have contributed to the success of the budget. Notably, efforts to capitalize on the food and logistics hub, along with a strategic partnership with the Niger State government, are proving instrumental in driving the state economic agenda forward.
At the end of the year 2023, the budget performance was 1.538 trillion, representing 87% of the year's budget size. The year 2024 budget aligns with the Themes Plus agenda and is crafted to solidify the developmental accomplishments of this administration, with primary focus on the conclusion of ongoing projects such as the Blue and Red Line rail system, some stadias, the Lekki-Ekpe Road, the new Mercy Children Hospital, the Okpebi-Mende Link Bridge, to name a few. It was also geared towards ensuring that every endeavor, investments and partnerships and policy translates effectively into tangible positive outcomes in the lives of Lagos residents and its environs. The ministry has continuously prioritized the use of the National Chart of Accounts for budget and preparation and implementation. So we make sure we conform with all the standard reporting of all reporting by the federal government, like all states in the federation.
Still in the world of business, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzokanite, says Nigeria is ready to commence local automobile manufacturing before the end of the year. At the African Association of Automotive Manufacturers and the Nigerian Automotive Manufacturers Association meeting in Abuja, Uzokanite said funds to grow the nation's automotive industry have been made available to local manufacturers. According to her, it was vital to source made-in-Nigeria vehicle materials locally. She sees the occasion to inform all stakeholders, including manufacturers, dealers, regulatory bodies, and other players in the automobile ecosystem, to key into the Nigerian automotive development policy and start making the desired contribution to the nation's economy. We'll go on a short break and be back with Stock Market Report. Welcome back. Nigeria's equities market increased by 0.83% on the last week day of trading, with the market capitalization at 56.33 trillion naira. Now, in the aggregate, 125 NGX-listed equities participated in trading, ending with 29 gainers against 20 losers. Now, Presco led the gainers with a 9.96 share price appreciation, moving from 229 naira 90 kobo per share to 252 naira 80 kobo per share. It was followed closely by Dangote Sugar Refinery, which closed at 47 naira 0 kobo. Now, at the end of the last week day of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a total of 466 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 9,297 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 7 billion naira. Now, compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Thursday, May 2nd, today's data shows 33% decline in volume, 28% improvement in turnover, and 10% improvement in deals. Well, let's take a switch to our global equities. Wall Street followed global shares higher on Friday after news that U.S. non-farm payrolls grew less than expected last month, easing investors' anxiety commented that tight labor market and stubborn inflation will not allow the Federal Reserve cut rates soon, leaving our select global stocks, that's the UK FTSE and US Dow Jones, in the bulls, with the UK FTSE at 0.51% and US Dow Jones at 1.14%. Japan's Nikkei, however, remained unchanged on the last weekday of trading as Japan celebrated Constitution Memorial Day in celebration of the enactment of the 1947 Constitution of Japan, leaving Japan's Nikkei at 0.099%. Let's take a quick look at our foreign exchange market. The US dollar traded at 1,442 naira 08 kobo on the official market and traded at 1,410 naira on the black market. The Great British Pound traded at 1,802 naira 17 kobo on the official market and at 1,780 naira on the black market, while the euros traded at 1,541 naira 15 kobo on the official market and at 1,470 naira on the black market. Well, that's it on both business and stock market reports. Back to you, Tamilore, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for that update, Okwayemi. Now on the global scene, in a message marking World Press Freedom Day, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has issued a stark warning about the unprecedented environmental crisis facing the world. Guterres said that this crisis poses an existential threat not only to the current generation but also to the future ones, saying that there is a critical role of journalists and media workers in informing and educating the public about these pressing issues. Expressing concerns over the erosion of media freedom, Guterres said the alarming trend of companies and institutions resorting to extreme measures to hinder environmental journalists from carrying out their essential work. He denounced these attacks on press freedom, emphasizing that they undermine democracy and accountability.
The world is going through an unprecedented environmental emergency which poses an existential threat to these and future generations. People need to know about these, and journalists and media workers have a key role in informing and educating them. Local, national, and global media outlets can highlight stories about the climate crisis, biodiversity loss, and environmental injustice. Through their work, people come to understand the plight of our planet and are mobilized and empowered to take action for change. Media workers also document environmental degradation, and they provide evidence of environmental vandalism that helps to hold those responsible to account. It is no surprise that some powerful people, companies, and institutions will stop at nothing to prevent environmental journalists from doing their jobs. Media freedom is under siege, and environmental journalism is an increasingly dangerous profession. Dozens of journalists covering illegal mining, logging, poaching, and other environmental issues have been killed in recent decades. In the vast majority of cases, no one has been held to account. UNESCO reports that in the past 15 years, there have been some 750 attacks on journalists and news outlets reporting on environmental issues, and the frequency of such attacks is rising.
And finally, on sport, UEFA's Executive Committee says nations participating in Euro 2024 in Germany will have the flexibility to select squads ranging in size from 23 to 26 players. Unlike the previous European Championship in 2021, where squads of 26 were permitted but 3 players couldn't feature in matches, all squad members will now be eligible to appear on the team sheet. The decision to expand squad sizes from 23 players as seen in the last Euro was influenced by the COVID-19 pandemic and concerns over potential complication if squad members contracted the virus. This adjustment aligns with FIFA's approach during the 2022 World Cup, which also allowed amidst the European club season. And that wraps up our bulletin on news now. Many thanks for watching. See you again next time.